This program is made possible in part by a production grant from Phillips Buick GMC.
Want to save money servicing your vehicle? Visit Phillips Buick GMC, your Buick GMC certified service dealer. For oil changes, tire repairs, or maintenance, you get more than fast, reliable service. You get fair pricing and quality work done the first time by factory-trained technicians you can trust. And with 48 service bays, no appointments are necessary. Phillips Buick GMC, your Buick GMC certified service dealer, just south of the Villages.
Welcome to the Leesburg High Sports Buzz Show. I'm your host, Ashley Hunt. I'm here with the head coach of the Yellow Jackets, Randy Trivers. Coach, how you doing?
Doing great. Pleasure to be here, Ashley.
Well, Coach, you guys came off of a disappointing loss against Evans High School senior night. You know, nice night. A lot of fans in the crowd. A key district matchup. And tell me, what were your thoughts on the game?
Well, we knew Evans was going to be a formidable opponent. They've got 7 or 8 Division I players out there. We knew they were going to be supremely talented, and we lost to them a year ago in a very, very close ball game. So we thought we had an excellent plan, a good week of practice. We thought our kids played extremely hard, gave great effort all night long. We just weren't able to capitalize on some key plays and some key situations. Our plan was to try to really control the football and keep their explosive offense off the field. And I think we actually won the time of possession by quite a bit, and we were able to run, I think, somewhere close to 75 offensive plays and to their 49. And we just unfortunately, when we got down inside the 30, 25-yard line, we just weren't able to come away with points, and that was the story. And the turnovers, of course, were costly down inside those areas too.
And obviously, it was a big district matchup to keep your district playoff hopes alive. It was a must-win for the Jackets, and the combination of that and the pregame festivities, all the seniors were recognized with their parents or guardians or whoever wanted to be there with them prior to the game, as well as the cheerleaders and ROTC and the band. And so there was a lot going on, a lot of distractions.
Well, yeah, but those things make high school football special, and that last home game for the seniors is always a big deal for them and their families as well. So we were, I think, geared up to try to finish their home career on the right note, and but the neat thing is that we still have an opportunity this coming week with South Lake, and even though we've lost 2 district games. It's a very similar situation we were in a year ago when we were 8-2, the 2 losses to the 2 district opponents. We had to go out in week 9 and beat a good South Lake team and hope for some help in week 10. We just unfortunately didn't get the help to get into the playoffs. But perhaps we have a couple things go our way with a couple teams beating each other this week and then possibly the last week. And if we can win this week, then we can put ourselves in a situation to still be a playoff team.
In this game, the Evans game was really a game, when you look back at the scoreboard, it looks like Leesburg may have gotten, I don't know if blown out is the right word, but 21-0 loss. But when you really go back through the game, as we're going to do in a minute, and look at the opportunities and look at when the scores came, the game was actually very close. And in my opinion, Leesburg dominated for most of the game, especially defensively.
Yeah, well, we played well. Like I said, at any time, if you told me that we would have 25 or more offensive plays than them, and the time of possession was going to be in our favor quite a bit, then I would tell you that, boy, we probably either won the game or on the scoreboard would have been a lot closer. But I think some of the key stats would be the explosive plays that they were able to make was key, and then the turnovers were key, and just the fact that we were driving the ball and controlling the ball, but we just could not get it in the end zone when we got it in the red zone.
Well, Leesburg gets the ball to start the game. You guys come out, several big plays, a big third down conversion. There was a Mitchum scramble. I think it was a pass to Benton. Mitchum played well all night. at quarterback. He had to have been the leading rusher on the night and had several great passes on top of that. Brian Jefferson had a run at the ball, and you got to the point at one point where Evans had stopped you, backed up 3rd down, and it appears that you're going to punt, and then Lee Bennett fakes the punt and picks up the 1st down, which was a big play. Yeah,
it was a big play for us. It was something that we saw on videotape, and we felt like we could get it in the right situation. Didn't necessarily expect to use that on the first possession of the game, but we felt, again, it was very important for us to control the clock, keep their offense off the field, and maintain drives. And there was an opportunity to get that fake punt there, and Lee Bennett, as you said, did a great job, and the guys up front really did a great job of clearing it out for him, and then was able to keep the drive alive.
And I tell you, a guy that's really impressed me all year is Brian Jefferson. In that same drive, he had a huge, I think we have some video of it, but he had a huge 3rd down conversion for a catch, and he's been doing that all year. Yeah, Brian
has done a great job, as you see right here. Andre taking a shotgun snap from Zach Farmer and hitting Brian Jefferson there. And as you spoke, that was a big play. That was actually after the play by Lee Bennett to keep the drive alive on the 4th down. But Brian has done a very, very good job of, he and Dre have been connecting all year long on big 3rd downs and 4th downs.
Same drive, we have a pass from Bennett. It was a nice fake run pass to Falconer for what appeared to be a touchdown. Would have put the Jackets up 7-0, but it was called back.
Yeah, and again, that was another one where, we take a 7-0 lead there. It was a beautifully executed play. Really hard to find what was wrong with it. We had the same exact motion, the same exact play, a couple, or not the same exact play, but same formation and motion. A couple plays before that, there were no issues, and it just so happens that on that one they said that we were moving slightly forward before the snap of the ball, and they called a penalty. So just a killer for us, because in a game like that, you need to convert on those opportunities.
Very long drive. The Jackets ultimately end up turning the ball over on downs, but a very long drive, similar to the game we had earlier this year when we were on the other side of the long drive. St. Cloud is what it really reminded me of. It wasn't quite as long as the St. Cloud drive was, which took more than a quarter. But the Jackets have a long drive, turn the ball over on downs, end up backing Evans up on their own 3-yard line. And the Jackets came out on defense, as they've been doing all year, came out pumped up for this big district matchup, and there were several key defensive plays.
As you see, we haven't backed up there. Jermaine Gaston and the crew, really doing a great job of stringing that thing out and running it down and making a good play and keeping them backed up in their own territory. And I thought our defense, as you mentioned earlier, Ashley, played really, really well against a very explosive offense that is high-powered. They could score a lot of points and a lot of points in a hurry. And I thought our guys, did a very good job of playing, great football against a very, very high-quality opponent, one of the best in the Orlando area.
And so the Jackets force Evans 3 and out. We get the ball back on offense, aren't able to do much. And it's the next drive. It was I believe it was Evans' first drive of the second quarter, where they were able to come out and hit the quick slant for about a 49-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I take that back. It wasn't a touchdown. There was a great effort by
Trayvon Bell,
who came from across the field. I think he was on the left side of the field and was able to come down and tackle him at the 1-yard line, but ultimately ended up in the very next play, I think, scoring a touchdown.
Right, the explosive play we were trying to guard against, because they do that so well when you study them on videotape and you see the course of their season. They make so many explosive plays with their quarterback, wide receivers, and they got one on us there. As you mentioned, though, Trayvon Bell, great hustle. Great effort, but it was on the 1-yard line there, and they were eventually able to take it in for a score.
So Leesburg gets the ball back, been dominating much of the game, offensively and defensively. It was the one takeaway, and I guess, or the one big play, and I guess that's what it's all about in football. One play can change the dynamic of the whole game. Leesburg gets the ball back. Bennett has a huge first down catch in that drive. There was another huge run by Mitchum, which he's been doing all year long. I believe to get the ball to about the 45-yard line.
Yeah, there you go. There's Lee Bennett, a nice catch there from Andre Mitchum. And as you said, all year long, these guys have been doing a great job of hooking up in crucial third downs. Here's Andre Mitchum on a nice quarterback run, a nice physical finish there at the end. And he had a great night as far as running the ball. He had a 100-yard day on the ground himself. So we, and that was part of the plan. We really felt like we could, keep the ball away from their offense and really control it. We just, again, had trouble getting it in there when we needed to.
Right, and ultimately Leesburg, I believe, turns the ball over on downs. Evans gets the ball back, and it's the second play into that drive where Leesburg comes up with a huge interception.
Yeah, this was a nice play. As you see, we had some good pressure on the quarterback there. Christian Williams, Jordan Tucker, and the crew there, and then Trayvon Bell coming up with that pick. Just a very nice play, for our defense, and we've been harping on that all week. We need to force turnovers, create some turnovers for ourselves. We just couldn't get. If we had protected the ball a little bit better. And created maybe one or two more, then the turnover ratio is in our favor, and maybe the result would be a little different.
Ultimately, Leesburg's not able to capitalize on that turnover because we get the ball back, and I believe the very next play we throw an interception. But ultimately, Evans gets the ball back, and our defense doesn't skip a beat. Once again, come out playing great defense as they did all night. I believe it was another 3-and-out performance by the Jackets, forced the punt.
Yeah, there you see there a great team defense. There's Austin Walker and a host of Jackets in on the tackle there for the tackle for loss. You see there's Jordan Tucker with a great spin move back inside on the offensive tackle on the pass rush. And Jordan's been a terror all year long getting after quarterbacks. I think he's up to maybe 14 or so sacks on the year. So he's been just an animal.
He's definitely had a good year, and this past week it seems like we saw him a little more on the offensive side of the ball as well at fullback.
Yeah, Jordan did some nice things for us, and there's been a couple games this year where we've utilized him on the offensive side of the ball, and this was one of those games as well where he logged in a lot of plays both offensively and defensively, and did a very nice job for us. He only carried it one time, touched the ball one time, but he did a lot of things in with his blocking and some things to really help make some of the other guys look good.
So Leesburg's down 7-0, time starting to run out in the first half, and Leesburg starts to drive on its own 22. A couple of big plays on this drive to ultimately get the ball into scoring position. One was by Bennett, I believe the other by Jefferson.
Yeah, that's a nice play right there. There's Lee again. And Lee has just been so versatile for us all year long with everything that he does, playing the tight end position, playing the wide receiver position, playing the fullback position, playing the tailback position, playing the quarterback position. He does a little bit of everything. And then there's Brian Jefferson again with another big catch. And those guys have been very, very valuable to us this year.
So ultimately, Leesburg drives the ball to the Evans 25-yard line. Time's running down in the half. We take a shot. I believe we go for it on fourth down, take a shot at the end zone. We have a wide open Brian Jefferson, and for whatever reason, we're unable to connect. Incomplete pass. Evans comes out and runs the remainder of the time off in the half, I believe. Jackets go into the locker room down 7-0.
Yeah, and that was another one where earlier we talked about the touchdown pass being called back, and then in the second quarter we had what you saw was the wide open Brian Jefferson there, and we just had some miscommunication on the connection there, and boy, that would have been a huge play for us there. So really 14 points that could say would really made a big difference in that football game.
Yep, but still only down 7-0, and considering how well the boys played, and you guys coached them up in the first half, you got to be feeling pretty good about your odds in the second. You hate to miss the opportunities, but at the same time, you got to be feeling pretty good about your prospects in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, we felt really good about how the second half was going to go. We felt like we had a good plan going in. We still had some things that both offensively and defensively that we were still looking to be able to do and bring out, and we were actually disappointed being down 7-0 where we really could have been up, but of course we felt we were in striking distance, and we could really come back out there and and tie it up and eventually take the lead. It was our thought process, of course, believing in ourselves, and we played as hard as we could. The kids really did. They really did, and the coaches, I think, really did a nice job, preparing us, not only before the game but through the game. But that Evans team is a great football team, and they did a good job of keeping us from getting that.
Evans gets the ball to start the second half. Our defense comes out, doesn't skip a beat. Another 3 and out. They're still playing with the same energy level they were playing with in the first half.
Yeah, there you see Jordan Tucker first, then Austin Walker in on the stop there. And you see a great job here. It was a screen pass, and just all the guys just doing a great job taking pursuit angles and getting a lot of white hats around the football.
So Leesburg gets the ball back on their own 44, great field position, hoping to get a quick score and tie the game up. Mitchum continues to have a great night running the football. I believe he had a first down run to about the 45-yard line.
Yeah, you see Andre making a great job, just a little improvising there, where he had some pressure off the backside edge, was able to stop and on a dime and make a great cut and finish off a very good run for us there. And as you said, he had a very good night, 100-yard day on the ground for him as a quarterback, which is very, very nice to see.
Definitely, and on that particular drive, we weren't able to score. There was a huge, I believe it was a holding penalty that was called on that drive. You talk about field position and being a field position game. We would have had the ball in the Evans 25, and when you look at the yardage and you're backed up back to your own 45, I mean that's a huge swing in momentum and playing. But regardless, Leesburg is unable to score. Evans gets the ball back. Leesburg still playing great defensively, but unfortunately, there was a pass interference call, which to me, having the benefit of looking back at the film, looked a little suspect, but nonetheless, it was called. Evans gets the ball first and goal on very short yardage, and was able to punch the ball in with about 5 minutes and 58 seconds in the third quarter to go up 14-0.
Yeah, I mean, some of the close calls, like you said, the holding penalty, which was a killer for us offensively there, the pass interference penalty defensively, and when you're playing a team of that caliber, it's hard to overcome those type of penalties. I mean, you need to play as clean and disciplined as possible to make sure that those penalties don't sway it in the other team's favor, because Evans just is so good and so talented where we need to play at our very best and not hurt ourselves. And when you have some of those penalties and they're close penalties too. I mean, gosh darn it! I mean, you think of the holding and the which was, I'm still kind of looking for that one on the tape, to be honest with you, where the holding was coming from. The pass interference, I mean, that was a bang play that could go either way. I thought it was pretty good defense. He was right there when that ball arrived, but those are going to happen. You're not going to get every call is not going to go your way in football, and you just got to be able to overcome those penalties, and we just weren't able to. And Evans does a good job. They're just a good football team.
So at this point, the majority of the game has been played. I mean, we're almost 3/4 of the way. I think that there was about 5 minutes left in the third quarter. We're only down 14-0. In light of all the breaks that we hadn't caught, we come out, and I imagine you guys and the boys are still feeling that you're in this game. There's a lot of football left to be played. Even though a lot of the time, I think like I said, we were 3 or 5 minutes into the third quarter. A lot of football still left, and we're looking for that quick strike. We're moving the ball down the field, and unfortunately, we fumbled the ball.
Yeah, and that was, again, we're moving the ball. We're really rolling, moving the chains, and then we had like you said, Andre Mitchum had a heck of a game running the ball, and just one of those deals where, and he was, it was a 3rd and 2 play, and we had the first down yardage there on a short run, and just a guy looked like he put his helmet right on the ball, and it unfortunately got loose, and we weren't able to come up with it. Still, our guys were fighting for it under there from that scrum, but they ended up saying it was the other way for Evans' possession.
And I'm starting to sound like a tape recorder. Evans is not able to capitalize on the turnover because once again the Jackets come out looking great defensively and force Evans to go 3 and out. I believe we have some highlights from that drive.
And there's Jordan Tucker with a pass defense. and just all year long. We mentioned Jordan Tucker and some of the nice plays that he's made. He's made some spectacular plays with interceptions and sacks and forced fumbles, and right there he's been doing a great job of that all year long, just timing the throw, the quarterback leaping up and making a nice play to bat that ball down.
So the offense kind of sputters into the fourth quarter. Ultimately, there's a Mitchum pass that's intended for Bennett that's intercepted. We turn the ball over. But the defense comes out once again. I mean, it's the theme of the night. I believe it was Jordan Tucker had a nice pressure and ultimately a quarterback sack to keep Evans in check.
Yeah, there you go. There's, Devontae Williams and stringing it out and forcing it to his help outside to Jermaine Gasson, who makes a nice tackle on the perimeter. And then there's Jordan Tucker, coming from the backside and forcing, which if he got there a little second earlier, maybe it would have been a fumble right there that we could have recovered. And then there's Tucker again, coming and making a sack, and just 31 has just had really a heck of a year.
So we get the ball back offensively. Mitchum gets the ball, has another great run for a nice pickup. Unfortunately, the offense isn't able to capitalize and score.
Yeah, there's Andre with a nifty run. With some nice moves in the secondary, but as you said, same story. We were moving it, having some success, and we just couldn't finish.
So going into the fourth quarter, still down 14-0 at that point. Still the game's within grasp, but like we said, it takes one big play to get us back in, a play on an onside kick or even a play in a stop and another quick score. To get us right back in the game. Still looking great on defense. The Jackets are still out all over the field. I mean, all night long, that was the case.
Yeah, our defensive performance, as you've been mentioning throughout the show, I think there's Chandler Strong there making a nice play, but I thought it was, such a high-quality opponent we were playing, and to do what we did against them, I thought was I thought our guys it was very commendable. They did a nice job.
And a huge call on that one, on that particular drive. Leesburg appears to intercept the ball to stop the scoring drive, pass interference call. Evans gets the ball, ultimately able to punch it in about midway through the fourth quarter to go up 21-0.
Yep.
It was the next possession. There was a great kickoff return. Leesburg, I believe it was, I'm not sure.
Yeah, this is Adrian Falconer there.
Falconer.
And Adrian.
And ultimately on that drive, it showed some promise, a few nice receptions, but once again not able to finish.
Right. Here's Brian Benton on a short reception and making a few guys miss, as he does so well. He's such a dynamic open field player, and did a nice job there, as he's done all year long really. But same story.
So Evans gets the ball back, starts on their own 50, not able to do much with the ball defensively. Leesburg gets the ball back. Falconer has a big catch, but pretty much for the night, that was the night. It was 21-0 is what Evans ended up taking the victory home. 21 points to Leesburg's 0.
Yeah, and you really felt for our players and our staff who've been working so hard for this moment to really put ourselves in position to be potentially a district champ, and having that loss earlier in the year to East Ridge and the 1-point overtime loss, and then this loss, really obviously puts that in as a that dream of being the district champ is pretty much behind us. But we still have a shot at the district playoffs, and we've got to do a great job of preparing and going out and putting together a good performance against South Lake. And then hopefully some other things can happen for us, and we have a shot to get in.
Well, Coach, I appreciate your time. We're gonna get to a couple of players. You brought Lee Bennett with you today, as well as Andre Alexander. We're gonna chat with them for a few minutes and come back and get a few parting comments from you, and as well as a look forward to this week's opponent, South Lake.
Sounds good.
All right, we're back with junior Lee Bennett, /player for the Jackets. Plays a little bit of running back, tight end, receiver, and big number 77, Andre Alexander, defensive tackle, senior for the Jackets, a crowd favorite. Andre, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
This is your senior year?
Yes, sir.
And what are you particularly fond of this year playing? What are some of the memories that you have from playing this year?
Well, just going out there, helping the team, doing everything I can, supporting my teammates, doing everything.
I know that you're definitely a high energy player. When you go into the game, it seems like the team steps it up a notch, and the fans love to see Big Andre get in there and stop that middle up. So you enjoy playing defensive tackle?
Yes, sir.
Did you play growing up?
Not really. I didn't play much until I got to high school.
High school, and that's when you took up football? Yeah. Well, Lee, you certainly had some big plays last week, several huge catches, the fake punt for the first down, and you play several positions. Tell us a little bit about the different positions you play and what you like about each of them.
I like playing wide receiver the most. Like, I like catching the ball and running, and then quarterback. I started my freshman year as a quarterback, so that's why I'm still playing it. And then running back, I just started that, and fullback, and tight end. I started that last year, so I'm good.
You've had a great year this year. I know you're up to both running the ball and receiving. I think you're up to 17 receptions, 168 yards, about a 10-yard average. Haven't found your way into the end zone yet, though.
Still not yet as a receiving.
I was surprised to see that when I looked at the stat line, that the number of big plays that you've had, and you still hadn't gotten a touchdown.
Yeah.
Well, Andre and Lee, we appreciate you having you on the show. We look forward to you guys going out this week and getting a good victory, good district victory against Southlake.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Coach, as always, the players were a pleasure to talk to, class act, and I wouldn't expect anything less. What can you tell us about this week's opponent, Southlake?
Southlake's is a very, very good football team. They're very athletic offensively. They're actually similar to a team that we played earlier in the year in East Ridge. Similar style of offense. As their coaching staff is actually a new coaching staff that was at East Ridge prior to this year. So you can see a lot of East Ridge in Southlake's offense, and then defensively, you're going to see a team that I think is very physical up front, and they've got some athletes in the secondary. So it's going to be a game where we're going to have our work cut out for us. We're going to get on that bus and head south, and hopefully come out with a win to put ourselves in position to be a playoff team.
Well, Coach, I'm looking forward to watching the game this week and coming back with you next week and chatting about the highlights, and looking forward to the final game of the season, which will be the Lake Weir game. I'd like to invite all the viewers to come back next week to the Leesburg High Sports Buzz Show. Same time, same place. We'll see you next week. This program is made possible in part by a production grant from Phillips Buick GMC.
Want to save money servicing your vehicle? Visit Phillips Buick GMC, your Buick GMC certified service dealer. For oil changes, tire repairs, or maintenance, you get more than fast, reliable service. You get fair pricing and quality work done the first time by factory-trained technicians you can trust. And with 48 service bays, no appointments are necessary. Phillips Buick GMC, your Buick GMC certified service dealer, just south of the Villages.